Hello, happy Monday. I really hope that you are doing well. I am. I'm doing extremely well, and I'm excited about day 5 because I get to talk about Daniel's results. Hold on, there's something going on with my screen that should not be happening. What's going on? Sorry, people. There we go. All right. I don't know how these different things continue to happen. Technology is just so imperfect, but grateful that we're able to figure this stuff out. Um, I hope that, again, that everybody's having an amazing day. I definitely am. The week is starting off well. Um, if this challenge isn't for anybody else, it is definitely for me. My results are like through the roof. And a lot of people would look at me and think, hey, like, what results do you need? Like, you look like you're already in shape. Hear me. I always say this: health, it issues with health start somewhere. Hey, Kiana, hey, Danielle. They start somewhere. So even if we look like we're in a good position, everything that goes left, and I mean far left, started in the direction of left. So there are times even where I am, which is why I weigh myself either every day or every other day, because literally where I am, it's perfect for my body size. It's another thing. When you learn about gut health, you'll learn that once your gut is at the place that it's designed to be, that at that optimal stage of health, that you will maintain a specific type of weight that's good for your physique, that fits your physique. You won't be too skinny, you won't be too fat. You'll be just right when you're eating the proper amount of nutrients, when your gut is able to do its job. But when you don't allow your body to have what it needs, then that's when you start seeing the changes. And saying that to say, like, as I weigh myself, literally, like, my BMI, which is, body mass index, is at the line where it's supposed to be. But of course, 5 pounds from here, overweight starts. And to some people, again, we live in a culture where it's, oh, you're fine. I mean, you gonna burn that off. Okay, yeah. Let me keep eating the way that I'm eating that got these extra 5 pounds and see if it doesn't become 10, 20, 50. And we do. We have a culture that um, glorifies bad habits, and the more I'm learning about our health, the more I'm starting to really understand. If I can't trust you with your health journey, and again, that doesn't mean you have to be perfect, but when you're just like whatever it is, what it is, and these things happen, I don't know if I can trust you on a spiritual journey, like mentally or any aspect, because if you're going to make these decisions here and don't care, what did that tell me what did that tell me about the decisions that you'll make within your spiritual life or within an actual relationship emotionally? You're going to make those same type of decisions because the common denominator is you're the same person. Things don't change. So it's very important that we are mindful about where we are, what we're doing. And again, these health brands and things that we, gravitate to. One thing that I've learned, the more I learn about our health, the more I learn about food, I also learned that there is a health business. And when you put business next to it, it insinuates a lot of times health, but then the business is the main attraction. So the business is causing them to figure out how to maximize profits. So I'll give a great example. I'm not gonna say any names, just I don't want to be that guy, but you'll buy certain, like, say, like certain coffees, because a lot of people are trying to do this now, and because researchers are showing that if you infuse lion's mane into coffee, it helps to prevent cognitive decline. So what do you have? You have companies that realize, okay, and then now you hear the conversations about coffee that's not organic. 9 times out of 10 will be molded coffee, which leads to headaches, which leads to the runs, which leads to the jitters. And so now you have companies that are on purpose creating coffee brands that have organic, and then they'll infuse the mushroom because they know majority of us want the easy way out. But again, they're not lying, they are doing business. What you will find out if you do the research is most of these companies that are popular, they will put the part of the mushroom that is the cheapest, that does not have any actual benefit, but can legally say this is mushroom coffee. It's legal. Is it ethical? Here's the thing. Let's remember, business and ethics aren't the same thing. It's great that some businesses are ethical, but ethics and business aren't necessarily the same thing. It's just, are you actually presenting people with the product that you're saying you have? Yes, this is organic coffee, and if they say that 70% of this has to be a certain way in order for it to have this organic label, a lot of people will get to that 70% for it to be organic. If you look at some things that say organic, all the ingredients may not be. And then even with some of the ingredients, which is funny, there are certain ingredients that are said to be organic that we know and that's been shown, like you'll see on back of certain packages, organic canola oil. It's been shown to tear your system up, to tear your gut up, to cause inflammation. It actually is a bigger driver to diabetes and heart disease than anything else. And of course, it's been branded as something else. But then again, do your homework on that as well. The people with the most money are the ones doing the major studies, which are the companies that back the seed oil brands, are back certain things. And there's a lot of doctors right now blowing the whistle because they've left industries, because you do have, thankfully, some people who are ethical and they're like, I'm not going to do this. You know, I was looking at a doctor today, same thing. He's one of the top doctors when it comes to nitric oxide, which is something that most people don't realize is extremely important, because nitric oxide it's connected to your blood flow. What is the number one cause of death around the world? Cardiovascular disease, which leads to heart attacks and all these different things. And again, I like to take it spiritual. If the purpose of God is to bring life and to put life into us, then what is the enemy? The enemy will always try to attack the complete opposite. So if God is about life, then I'm going to be about death. Well, life is in the blood. So then if life is in the blood, let me clog their arteries. Let me prevent them from having good blood flow, good circulation, nitric oxide. Because if they have nitric oxide, there will not be any heart attacks there. 9 times out of 10, you won't have diabetes or anything like that. You won't have a problem with nutrients traveling where they need to travel, because they travel through the bloodstream, and nitric oxide helps push that. It's insane. So again, you have companies that are playing these games and knowing what's happening, and then of course they're in cahoots with. Now, if you have blood flow issues, now we're going to get into other medications or other things that you have to do, and you're going to get on, and it's a revolving thing of money. And I've even had a friend who was funny, was on a trip in Miami and did a video that was on the tour, and it was like, oh, this is the house of the CEO of, I think it was Pfizer, and it was like a college. Like, insane. Go get your money, but not at the expense of being dishonest. And I still look at it as being dishonest. You know that this is not the mushroom coffee that they think it is. But because, again, business can say, this is lion's mane. It may not be the medicinal part of it, but it is lion's mane. It's the cheap part of it. And so my product may have cost me $3 in total, but now I'm selling it for $30. It's a business. So profit margin is what business is about. Like, so just remember that when you're picking these things, sometimes the easy route today will kill you tomorrow. All right. And it's funny, I ain't even say that's the easiest route, y'all. The easiest route literally is Whole Foods. And that's an apple. That's a pear. Not apple juice, not pear juice. That's a grapefruit. That's an orange, not orange juice. That's literally like getting you some asparagus. Like, those parts are getting some grass-fed or some humanely raised, meat. These things will actually keep you alive a lot faster than those other aisles that's offering you these better ingredients chips, our pastas, our grains. Again, we like what we like, but the whole point is to make sure that we don't overconsume these things and we are very intentional. So hopefully you all were able to see, like Ken, I know you knew and you're still learning the system. Yesterday's document explained, so and we'll get to that, but there's a certain system that normally I do charge people for, but in the 10-day Daniel challenge, which is funny, I'm glad, yeah, a lot of people didn't join it. Cool. It's what it is. I live your life. And it's funny because even I just had one of my boys, he did join, but he's been really busy. And so he sent me a message. He's like, man, I want to do your VIP, blah, blah, blah. He's like, I still want to pay for it, but then what do you think about this? And then I was like, I got you. He's like, no, you ain't, you know what I'm saying? You ain't got to really, give me too much information because I already want to pay for it. I sent him back notes for everything. Today he sends me a text message saying, bro, I feel amazing. Like what you sent me worked. Oh my God. I'm like, well, how many days has it been? He says it's been 3 days, bro. And I feel the difference already. All because, again, everything I tell anybody is going to be in the confines of what I call the 5 areas of focus. And literally, he pretty much, I told him, I said, you pretty much only got technically number 2 and number 4. You didn't get 1, you didn't get 3, you didn't get 5, and he's already feeling amazing. So this stuff really works. Hey, it is what it is, but you guys are going to be living great because you guys are taking the opportunity to make these changes. All right. 511. Matter of fact, but before I even get into my document, let me ask, like, has any, Kiana, Sharon, like, who have you got? How have you guys been feeling? Guys, I shouldn't even say that. How have you all been feeling in regards to these changes that you've been making? I'd love to know. Let me know in the chat what has been your experience thus far. Um, just in case you got to type for a while with your answer, I'll keep going, but I'll be looking for it. But definitely want to know, like, how are you feeling? But let me get into this document so I can get you. Okay, it's good to hear, Sharon. You've been feeling good, and like I said, like Sharon is like one of my. You're one of the. I tell you right now, you're one of the reasons why I am so committed to this program. You, my mom, and a few other people. These stories that I've received, and that's why even Sharon's here. She's like, I know it works because she went through one of my first 12-week groups, and the results were insane. I honestly feeling really good. That's really good. And also remember this too, y'all. Like it's not just the food that we're eating, it's also the mindset that we are adopting. And that's why I spend these first 5 days dealing with mindset because my story, again, it took me 2 months to turn into a whole nother person, all because of my mindset. And I got focused on what I wanted to do, which caused me not to worry about what everybody else wanted me to do. Definitely more energy and even motivated to continue past the 10 days. Let's go. You got to get in this community, Kiana. I'm telling you, we do a whole lot. I share a whole lot. I share links, everything. Get in here. More energy along with the rest. Perfect. Okay, so let's get into this document so I can let you guys go and kind of give you still the run through of how you should look at tomorrow, approach tomorrow. All right. So today we are talking about Daniel's results, visible changes. This right here, this right here, y'all. This right here. These are the results that if we really put the effort and again, I understand it's a different day today. But just know the more effort you put in, the better things will be for you. The better things will turn out. Not cutting corners. Like literally, I'm telling y'all, like when I learned this, when I studied this in the original language to get what these words meant, what were these results? These were really some of the results that, well, pretty much every result that I experienced. Again, I remember when me and Sharon was talking all the time when she was going through the program. You can vouch for it. These are the same results. Like Sharon, this is probably going to trip you out when you even see this. This is what the Bible shows and teaches, which were Daniel's results. It is real. And again, I have witnesses. All right, so let's get into it. Okay, so remember, we're about mindset. This is about mindset right now to make sure that we are focused. What is your fixed mindset, y'all? What is your fixed mindset? All right, what are you fixated on? What is your fixed mindset? It's important to know and important to keep track of. What have you and what are you settling for? Because again, if of course 20% is going to still get you 20% results. It is better than nothing, but you don't want to just get what's better than nothing. You want to get all that you can get. You know, get as close to that 100, at least get to that 80. The 80-20 rule is amazing. At least try your best to get to that 80. But what are you selling for? Are you selling for the 80 or are you selling for the 20? Where have you settled within that? What is your disposition with that? What have you inherited because of that? And what kind of moods? That's the one that's plural. What kind of moods do you have because of all of this? Makes it, this is it's crazy like how our food is connected to our attitudes, our personalities, to everything. Like even today, just the proof behind how food is connected to mental health. Most people for years wanted to fight against that. No, that's just something off balance. And again, scientists have proved there's no such thing as being chemically off balance. That's just a term that was made up because nobody knew how to describe anything. We are malnutrition. We are nutrition deficient. That's what's going on. Like even with another proven point. Recently, I don't know if I said this yesterday, but I'll say it again today. And it's funny. I was telling my boy this too. And this is when I learned this. I'm like, oh my god, it makes sense. The head itself does not experience a headache. It's a signal that's sent and that causes the head to actually ache, to actually hurt. But it's not necessarily you have a headache, and most of the headaches are connected to either low sodium. You know what I'm saying? Yes, there is bad salt, and a lot of us have been raised on bad salt. But there are salts that we need, like sea salts, and so one of the best ones is a Baja mineral salt. But they're needed, and most of us we are not just dehydrated. That's one main thing. As a matter of fact, they also just linked dehydration over a course of time to actually the onset of dementia, being dehydrated. But along with being dehydrated, most people don't know you should add some form of sea salt, electrolyte to your water. Most people are sodium deficient, which are causing headaches. Now, of course, you do have other headaches because of molded coffee. I explained that already as well. Or the lack of sleep that can cause signals to be sent to your head to cause it to hurt. And literally, these pains are designed to get your attention like, hey, there's something going wrong. It's an alarm. Your gut cannot talk to you, but your gut sends signals everywhere. It'll send a signal to your knee. It'll send it to your skin on your face. It'll send it to your brain and cause you to have brain fog or a brain or a headache. It's going to do that because I can't say, hey, I can't say you're doing this wrong, but what I will do is make you feel uncomfortable because you're doing this wrong. That's what our bodies do. Like it's insane. Um, Okay, so again, the mindset is understanding. We talked about this, and I just reiterating the power of no, and it's important to make sure that you are committed to what's best for you. If I'm trying to get my gut healed, then it's cool. Like I can still go out and hang out at this restaurant with you or happy hour with you, but I don't have to eat or drink these things in this season. And I love what I picked up on later in this, which I hope that you pick up what I'm putting down once I get there. Um, but this the power of no, and it's mainly, especially think about, and I'll get into it later. But his no wasn't just necessarily just all know about everything. Now, because he wasn't gonna do no pork, because he knew there was no value in that. Now, we can look in the test later on. He did do some wine, but in this particular season, he did not because it would have worked against the goals that he had. What are your goals? Sometimes it's not necessarily always about the no for the lifetime. Sometimes you need to know in the season because this does not meet my goals. If I'm trying to pass a test or any kind of test, figuratively or literally, and there's somebody in here that does not support that or throws me off my game, then I might have to put you on pause until I'm done and then unpause you once I'm done. Okay? So again, it's not always the no for the lifetime. Some of the no's are for the season to get you where you need to be at an optimal productive place. And then why do you stand firm? It's pretty much what I just said. And then when you're standing firm, then you have to, at that junction, make the best choices in that. Okay, I may not have access to the number one. That don't mean I don't have access to number five. I shouldn't be going to 50 or to 100 just because of my surroundings. I'm going to pick the best thing. And trust me, your mindset also helps your body adjust to that. And because you're doing the best that you can do, your body's going to respond to you the best that it can. It's insane. I could do a whole Bible study on what science has just shown about how the body works. And I've been taught just singing about this to so many people because it's like, whoa. Science is proving God to be right, and they don't even realize it. And I'm not one that's listening to science like that. Daniel influenced me. Like the reason why he was so intelligent and why his burdens. Read the book now, especially now. You're learning this. Read the book. See how he was already he already knew the word. Which is why he said no to certain things. He already knew what was best for him because of his God. But then he also still learned their information, which made him smarter and him and the Hebrew boy smarter than pretty much everybody around them. But now here's the thing. The caveat is it came with a burden because of him being so intelligent and him being connected to God and knowing you're able to put things together that the average person does not put together. And I feel it's pain because right now I'm like at a place of burden. Like, oh my God, like God, you're revealing some stuff to me through like this science. And I'm literally seeing stuff that even in theology and going to school and getting a master's of divinity, they don't teach you because they don't understand the body. Heck, most of I wanted to say another word right there, but most of them are overweight. And you're trying to teach me about a God who made us in our image. He ain't fat. He's not skinny either. But at the end of the day, there's a way that he's made that we are also made in that image as well, according to that likeness. And when, again, I don't want to get into that right now because I want to stay here. But when I tell y'all, just wait till this YouTube channel comes out and I'm sharing that stuff. But to really see how God made us and how much of in his image we are. And again, science are proving so many of these things. And I'm like, wow, why did I have to learn how to think and how to speak a certain way from science? There's a whole other conversation. Anyways, but the great part about it is, like I said, when you're making these better choices and your mind is going with you, you're going to see visible changes. My visible changes took place in like 2 months. Like Sharon was a part of a 12-week program. My mom was 12 weeks. And the results that they had were absolutely insane. But that's because they were focused. You can go with me, like I said, Sharon's mindset. And it's funny, because actually at the beginning, I would say this, she might have been like 50% in, but 6 weeks in, we talked and some things were taking place in her life and she didn't realize normally in that season, she would have been in a different headspace, but because she has enough focus here, that headspace changed for her. Then the next 6 weeks, she went all in and the results just, insane story. Anyways. Let's get into these visible changes because I love them. Oh my God, I love them. All right. Daniel's results, visible changes. Daniel 1:15. And at the end of 10 days, their countenance appeared fairer and fatter in flesh. Fatter, like, a word that we've obviously changed over the course of time. That's why we got to know scripture and what things mean. I guarantee you, as many people have read this, what is fairer or what is fatter? In flesh than all the children who did eat the portion of the king's meat. Eating what they ate, they were fatter and fairer in flesh than all of the children who did eat the portion of the king's meat. Okay? Understanding two massive outcomes. This is what this is about. In just 10 days, two seemingly simple descriptions, fairer and fatter, reveal transformational results. At first glance, these words might not sound impressive to modern ears, but their meaning carries profound significance. Check this out. Check this out. Check this out. Check this out. Breaking down these massive outcomes. Mental clarity, okay? Mental clarity, that's used because most of us, we get used to not having it, so it's just a way of life, or it's just me aging. But because of what he ate, because it fed his gut, because it cleared the signal between the gut and the brain through the vagus nerve, which is a whole other conversation. Now he's experienced mental clarity. That's what fair countenance. It's mental clarity, enhance cognitive function, improve the decision making abilities. Feeding your gut. Who would have known that feeding my gut would help improve the way I make decisions? I'm not impulsive. I'm not emotional. I'm not just making a decision for the moment. You're basically more rational when your gut is healthy. Clearer thinking and focus. Better emotional stability, sharper mental accuracy. That means you're not a roundabout. That means you're not like, it feels like, it seems like, which is one of my, I can't stand that. Or mentally sharper and accurate. Like, that's insane. Look, enhance cognitive function, improve decision making ability, clearer thinking and focus, better emotional stability, sharper mental accuracy. That's what Pharaoh meant in that scripture. Sharon, come on, back me up. Tell me about that mental clarity. Because one thing she told me, she's like, and I love how she said this. I still got the text messages, and she was just like, I feel like I have a sixth sense. Like, I feel to the point. Oh, I love she said this too. She said because of all the benefits she received, she's like, even if I never lost a pound, this was worth it. All because she was learning how to feed her gut. Now look at, so not only did they experience mental clarity, they also experience physical vitality, fatter in flesh, which means optimal physical health, increased strength and energy, better physical appearance. They looked better. Improved overall wellness, enhanced physical performance. So not only did I look better, I felt better, all because I was feeding my gut. Insane. The revealing insight. The dramatic improvement in just 10 days suggests something crucial. This is what I was talking about earlier. Their previous diet hadn't been optimized for these demands. Check that out. How do I know that? Because they would not have had to ask or request, could they do this had they already been doing it? He didn't say, can we continue to do what we've been doing? Can we do this? Because it was the best out of all the options they had to get the results that they needed to have. One thing I do know, if I'm David, one thing I do know, this swine ain't gonna get us there. So I know because of what my scriptures taught us, what God taught us, this is what we need to do for these 10 days. For 10 days, just let us do this. If we really dig all into the story and read it over and over again, that wasn't specifically what they were doing the whole time. And again, what proves that is when you go to where he really fasts, which is why I am just not a Daniel fast person, because he did not fast. And when you look at Daniel 8-10, when he did fast, it was grieving. Fasting is not about what you don't do. Fasting is about what you want to get out because of what has happened or what you're dealing with. It's about the exit. It's about renovation. And when he said when he was fasting for those 21 days, it wasn't 10. When he fasted for those 21 days, that's when no wine touched his lips. Also, because it wouldn't have helped him. He probably would have used the wine to the sorrow in his troubles. So I need to be in a clear mind and I need to get this out of me. I need to cry it out, whatever. But the fasting was to prevent things from getting in. Not to prevent things from getting in, but you close up shop, like I call it, to not let things in so you can get things out. It's hard to get things out when you're still letting things in. That means food, that means TV, that means all these different things. But again, it was because I'm heavy burden right now. I'm stressed. So no wine touched his lips for 21 days, which means he did drink wine. Common sense. And again, let us do this for these 10 days. So this wasn't our diet at all times, but for what we need to get accomplished, that's what we're doing right now. Okay. So this rapid transformation reveals they understood what excellence required. All right. Again, this ain't about you being rigid. This ain't keto. This ain't paleo. This ain't being carnivore. This is about doing what's required for what you need done in this season. If you're stressed, you don't need fried foods. You know what I'm saying? Okay, They recognize the need for focused nutrition because certain nutrition will help you focus better. And again, we're trying to make sure, again, we have a point. We don't want to eat that. So whatever we got to do to be that much better to make sure we don't experience that, that's what we're going to do. So that means that we're going to do what's required, which is excellence. We're not going to give them a 2. We're going to go number 1. We're going to go all in. They knew common eating habits wouldn't produce uncommon results. Okay? Again, sometimes we just got to go all in because we're not trying to have everybody else's results. Yes, we can maintain, lose a pound here and there, and we can be like everybody else in their 40s, and then we get in our 50s, we can be like everybody else in their 50s. But if you want to have uncommon results, then you can't do the common things. Like I know people too, like, yo, like I got something I got planned and I want to make sure that I'm in a specific space when I do this. Okay, well, you can't do common things and expect to get uncommon results. So if it's you trying to get prepared for a wedding, I need to lose 20 pounds. You ain't gonna lose 20 pounds doing common stuff. All right. They made intentional changes for specific outcomes. They made intentional. So that's what we've been talking about. This is about being intentional. Making intentional changes for specific outcomes. Again, that's why I like to promote this. This is not about the diet. This is not about being this or being this. It's about what's best for you in the season that you're in, which is why a funny thing I always say is like diets and denominations both remind me of each other. Because you got people who back denominations, like you have people who back diets, and not understanding that we're all individuals. Every diet doesn't work for everybody, just like every church ain't gonna work for everybody. Meat is not, this meat might be good for my body and I might digest it, but it might not be digestible for you. This pastor might be good for you. They might not be good for me. And so we have to also understand what's best for us, not for everybody else. The easy route is doing what's for everybody else, and we're not common. So why do we do the common thing? Anyways, let's keep going. Their story shows that when faced with higher demands, which they had on them, they chose to elevate their standards rather than maintaining common habits. And again, the word common, defiled common is the same thing. And when it's saying common, it's saying still doing what everybody else is doing. The demand was already high, which is why they were about to get in that land the best food. All right. But again, that would have been what everybody on that level would have been doing. Because there was a high demand and they were already here. Well, we got to go here and let them know why it's important that we don't do what y'all do, because look at these results. All right. Yeah. The uncommon path leads to extraordinary results. Okay. One of my favorite scriptures to even end this with is, do not conform to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Okay. Meaning, again, we're not conforming to what everybody else does. We're transforming by the renewing of our mind, which means the more our mind transforms, the more we renew our minds, the more we transform. And again, it becomes second nature to us. It becomes the lifestyle. Even if it's not a lifestyle to somebody else, your renewed mind has nothing to do with somebody else at this point. But if you're conforming, that means you're not renewing your mind, which means you're going to be stuck to just jump, play double dutch or hopscotch, jumping however you're jumping, because you're not renewing your mind. Hopefully you're taking these 10 days to renew your mind so that, again, when you're around certain people, not saying you can't do it, but if you know in this season, I'm dealing with something and I need to get it out. This is not going to help me get it out. Let me not do this. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, so these are again outcomes. You have flexibility. You're not walking around stiff. Literally, I just explained this. There's no headaches. There's energy. There's mental clarity. There are mood consistencies. I'm just saying, like, I know there's majority women on the call, and for years, and I once I learned this stuff, honestly, I feel so bad for all the times I try to blame a woman's attitude on you. Just a woman. That's what y'all do. No, it's not. That's just what you guys do. It's basically, literally, you need to feed your gut. You're not that way. That's not who you are. Okay. So again, I mean, it could, and it's obviously more reasons than that as well. But to not be able to be consistent in your mood, a lot of times have to do because of the neglect on your own body. Clear skin. I'm experiencing that as well. Ability to reintroduce some foods back into your diet, weight management, reduce to no inflammation, which is important because chronic inflammation will lead to death eventually. All right. So this is what just feeding the gut, not dieting. This is just what feeding the gut does. Okay. Like Daniel, these results aren't just about food. They're the outcome of choosing excellence over convenience, distinction over conformity. When you make uncommon choices, you position yourself for uncommon results, okay? To do what's common keeps your results predictable. The only way to transform is by renewing your mind, just as Romans 12:2 reminds us. Transformation begins with choosing a different path than the world's pattern, okay? To drive the point, they look even better than they did when they came in. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Overview. All right. Overview. You guys should know these answers. What are the 4 food choices of focus? And I know there's lag time, so I'm gonna give you I'm gonna pause just a little bit so you can say them to yourself or put them in the chat. What are the 4 food choices of focus? Matter of fact, I'm not even gonna answer it. I'm just gonna let you put it in the chat, and I'm just gonna move to the next question. Okay, so yeah, put it in the chat. What are the 4 food groups of choice of focus? All right. What 2 things should we have with every meal? Very important. Not for me to tell you more than it is for you to know. How should food be grown or made? Okay. What 2 things should you never mix high amounts of? I said that yesterday. And there actually is not too many documents on that, so I'm not going to do you like that. The 2 things that you should never mix high amounts of are, and again, I did talk about it yesterday, but not as much as I talked about everything else, are high fats. Yep. Come on, Kiana. Let's go. In that order. Yes, in that order. Absolutely. What 2 things should we never mix high amounts of? Fiber. Okay, fiber and protein. Yep, those are the 2 things we should have with every meal. Makes a difference. Fiber and protein with every meal. Absolutely. Uh, 2 things that we should never mix are a high fat and a high carb because your body cannot process high amounts of both of those at the same time. Natural, organic, yeah. Basically, at the end of the day, natural, organic, pasteurized, raised, anything that's going to be close to just conventional, right? Again, remember, this is about being intentional. You're not going to always be able to have the best, but the intention is to get as close to it as possible to minimize damage. No high carbs, no high fats together. Exactly. Hamburger, avocado toast, peanut butter jelly sandwich. Those are high fats and high carbs with a bunch of other stuff. Hear me when I tell you, just making these changes without dieting, just making the changes makes a difference, okay? The secret sauce. I didn't say this. I didn't put this on too many docs. This is something you're just going to have to remember when I tell you because I don't want to write this. I want people to just learn this. What is the secret sauce? The secret sauce that I put together helps you to have a diverse week in food. It's called the high, no, low, H&L. We abbreviate it as H&L so people remember H&L, not S&L, but H&L. High, no, low. You have a high day, you have a no day, you have a low day. Then you have another high day, a low day, a no day, and a fun day. That's Sunday. Sunday fun day, right? So Monday and Thursday are hot. Like today's a Monday. That will be a high day. So, you should have 2 to 3 meals. You don't cheat yourself on the calories. You have, if it's 2 meals, you still have nice sized meals. I would suggest your first one be a high fat because when you wake up, your cortisol levels are already high. When you go to bed, like, okay, so this is extra information again for the people who did join in and watching this so you can get some game. This is going to help you too. Again, I don't like the diet, so I need to know the tricks. And I'm learning all the tricks. I'm reading all the books. I walk and listen to books. I go through the stuff. Okay, so you don't want to go to bed. You don't want your last meal, if especially if you're eating. If your last meal is early enough, like maybe if your meal is around 5 o'clock, cool. But if you're having a meal accidentally at like 7 o'clock, it should not be a high carb meal because it spikes your insulin to up to 6 hours. Spiked insulin is going to prevent you from producing melatonin properly, so you're not going to get the proper sleep. You're going to sleep with high insulin levels. Then if you wake up in the morning and have like we've been taught, one of the things that screwed our kids up, which is why they needed a nap, they technically shouldn't have needed a nap. Talking too fast. But because we gave them these, and not only did we give them high carb breakfast, we gave them like the worst of the worst carb breakfasts, right? So when you wake up in the morning, your cortisol levels, they're the thing that actually, so your blood pressure rises in the morning to wake you up. Your temperature goes up. So you're already high, which is why you shouldn't have coffee first thing in the morning. But then even more important than that, you shouldn't have a high carb meal because your cortisols are already high. That means you're going to spike your insulin even more if you have a carb breakfast. Then you'll experience a crash because of how hard you hit your insulin levels. All right, you spike your blood sugar. So it's best to start your day with on a high day. Start with a high fat, high carb, a high fat, high protein meal. Remember, and it's high protein every day. All right. But you want to have a high fat meal, which will help you sustain energy throughout the day. Now, only time I would suggest you do something different is if your first meal was after a workout. You can have the carbs because you're going to most likely burn those because you've already worked out and now boom, you're feeling good, right? So, but that's how you want to approach that. Like you don't really sandwich your carb meals when you're really trying to have some results. Now, if you just don't care, don't matter. But if you're really trying to make sure you maximize your results, make sure it's smack dead in the middle of the day, not first meal and not too late. Okay? All right. And I'll explain Tuesday and Friday. So Tuesday and Friday is the no day. We're going to go over that. But when I say it's a no day, so basically after Monday and Thursday, after your last meal, we do a 20-hour fast. Now, here's the thing. Why 20 hours is a sweet spot. When you fast for 20 hours, now you still can have water, you can still have coffee, you can still have tea because they do not break a fast. They actually help assist the fast. There's a process that takes place. That's why I say like the church, we've missed the real importance of fasting. There's a supernatural process that the world has coined as autophagy that takes place. And again, it's science. It's wow, like the body does this miraculous thing. How does it do it? Biologically, we're just how we evolved. No, God made us like this. So when there's no food coming into our system after a certain amount of hours, especially around between 16 and 18 hours, you're going to start going through what's called autophagy. Now, of course, some people say it can start earlier, but it depends on what you're doing earlier. But for sure, it's going to start between 16 and 18. You go to 20 and you break the fast, you break it right, which is what we're going to teach you. You break the fast right, then you can still get up to 36 hours of benefit breaking the fast correctly. And so what are you doing? Fast, especially when you learn, and we'll teach you how to go longer and longer. And the longest, is between 36 and 48. But people in this group can attest that once we've gotten to that point, it was not hard. And what ends up happening when you do those fasts, like you're starving bad bacteria. Bad bacteria cannot live long, which is why you have moments of craving because you're starving them. You're not starving. The way you can always attest whether you have too much bad bacteria are by cravings. If your good bacteria is outweighing your bad bacteria, your stomach will growl when you don't fast. But growling, the actual growling is a growth hormone. So you're actually growing, your cells are growing because in autophagy, your good cells are eating the dead cells, which are making them stronger. And now they are more powerful and can eat up cancer. They can eat up anything that comes to your body. So COVID should never be a problem, or the flu should never be a problem. Pneumonia should never be a problem if you're fasting correctly and for the right reasons, people. All right. Anyway, and then Wednesday, which you'll find out more about that tomorrow, is called the low day because once you break the fast a certain way. And then because you fast for 20 hours, you want to reintroduce food back in. And so you're not going to have high spiking types food that next day, which again, the benefit is you're able to still eat your high protein because it doesn't spike insulin pretty much at all. Like it's so minimal. And then you can have which will teach you like certain fruits you can have that are, and what I do is I create lists that give you the best options. Like on a low day, and again, I'll get more into that tomorrow, but if you have like an apple with some high protein, that is a killer. or an apple, or like a pear and like an omelet, or you know some a yogurt and some protein powder, like you are feeding your gut and you're just healing your body. Anyways, let me it's 44. Okay, let me go get through this. All right, so this is, and you'll get this information. It should be emailed to you shortly. This is how you do your Tuesday. You go 20 hours fast, but when you, and this is the things that you can do during the day. You can drink water, ACV, green. Here's the thing. Have again, remember, of course, you stop between 1 and 2, but there is these things in green tea. I don't even want to get into the names because it doesn't matter to you. But there's a property in green tea that actually curbs appetite. So one of the things you can do is when you do get hungry, which a lot of times is the bad bacteria, that green tea is gonna go in here and shut them up and like just like pimp slap them, like shut up. So green tea, what's happening over here? Okay, green tea is gonna be like beneficial. So I gotta hurry up. Green tea is going to help you curb the appetite, right? You can have coffee. Coffee also helps curb appetite. You can put stevia. You can put allulose. Some people like stevia. I like stevia, but allulose, I would do allulose. Actually, allulose also helps with insulin resistance and things like that. Like it's almost has an Ozempic effect. It's Ozempic like, so it actually curbs hunger too. So get you some allulose, put that in your teas, boom, and then throughout the day you see all that. Yeah, because it's saying YouTube is about to do some stuff because I've been streaming too much lately. Oh, for a new account. All right, so this is how you break the fast. You want to have you some grass-fed bone broth. I use Kellyanne. They got a French onion kind. They have a classic. Oh no, a roasted chicken kind, or the like I just said, the French onion beef. Very good. They're grass fed, organic. Get that brand. I'll also get me some organic miso. I'll get me some organic miso, and then I'll also get me like some organic seaweed. Okay, you can put it's. My mom can attest. People can attest. If you get the right the right bone broth and then put that miso and seaweed in it, let me tell you, it is going to it's a good time, okay? But that's how you break the fast, and then at the same time you want to have like either you want to have lean protein after that to help curve things, and it also helps with the gut. So you could have chicken breast, you could have chicken tenders, you can have lean beef. I always suggest people to have like a protein shake. Sometimes I don't suggest vegan protein because vegan protein takes a lot longer to build on us than other proteins. But in that window, it's easily digestible. So having that, and then 2 to 3 hours later, then you want to have another meal. This is the meal that for me personally, I'll do some prebiotic vegetables like asparagus, artichokes, dandelions, and then I'll have some seafood. I'll have me some crabs, some shrimp, some lobster, lobster meat. I'll have a halibut because halibut is like a superfood fish. I'll have halibut, I'll have cod, those different things. And honestly, I'll put them in what this cilantro lime Primal Kitchen dressing, which is amazing. I'll put some Parmesan cheese and I'll put some feta cheese because there are prebiotics because those are fermented. So, I mean, I'm prebiotic, they're probiotic cheeses. So I'll add that to it. Boom, and then literally you will be good for the night. And then of course the next day you have Wednesday. That's all you have that day, so that you can really continue that healing your gut process. All right, but that's all here. You'll get the email with that as well. Homework: what is one common eating pattern you need to break free from to see uncommon results? Write it down and identify why you've been conforming to it. It's gonna bless you, I promise you. Done it. It's going to help. What is one uncommon choice you can make in the next 24 hours that would align with Daniel's example of excellence? Be specific about when and where you'll make this choice. Lastly, looking at the 9 transformation outcome: flexibility, no headaches, energy, etc. Which one do you most need right now? And what specific mind renewal is required to achieve it? If you don't answer any other one, answer that one. That's going to be perfect for you. All right? Take time to write your answers down. Remember, to do what's common keeps your results predictable. Your transformation begins with these uncommon choices. Okay? All right. That is it. That is all. Listen, this is the first day. Well, I had a little bit of issues, but that wasn't on me. That was on that because I already checked it before I even got on. So that was that. But anyways, yep, I see. I'm just over to look at the chat. The H&L is my way of life. Come on here. It's everything. All right. If there are any questions, any concerns, you guys know my number. Hit me up. Again, I would answer that question like, what mindset do you have to have in order to get the results that you're trying to get? Because again, like I said, once this 10-day challenge is over, y'all, it's about to be a revolution going on. Like, I got a YouTube channel that's about to show some stuff. But again, and I love it because science is showing me, science is ministering to me right now. And I'm like, and it's sad to say that I had to get sight because faith obviously wasn't good enough. And I'm man enough to say that. And I'm saved enough to say that because there's certain things we've been told, but unfortunately we haven't seen the example because there's so many people that are teaching you Jesus, but are living a crummy life. Like again, they're overweight. They're not healthy. They can barely breathe in a pulpit. Half of them got oxygen tanks before they get up on the mic and try to preach. They hoop and then they almost fall out. Half of them have fallen out because they're so about Jesus that they don't know enough about building the body that God made in his image. Whole nother conversation, a whole nother day. So this stuff is important, y'all. Again, you have any things that you need to ask me to make this easier and better for you for these 10 days and beyond, y'all. My family, I got you, all right? So that's it. Love y'all. Make sure you have a good no day tomorrow. And again, hit me up if you have any questions, concerns, even some struggles, all right? Talk to you soon.